Okay, let's get started. Segment 1. Circuit Court Clerk Iris Martinez. Now, many of you who are not criminal justice experts may not even know this office exists, but if you end up in the court system at all, you will deal with this office, or at least your file will. They're the office that handles all the paperwork and data for the Cook County courts. And that is criminal or civil. In our view, we're just thinking about criminal. And I want to show you this. Here we go. This is an article from Injustice Watch in Chicago. And they do a good job of nailing the clerk's flip-flop. When she was campaigning, she was all about how, even though the clerk's office isn't necessarily covered by the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, or arguably isn't. I would argue that to some degree they are, but she says everyone is considered that the office exempt. She was going to make the office abide by the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. They're basically considered part of the courts, and courts are exempt from FOIA, so it was always questionable. Dorothy Brown had a habit, the predecessor, not ever responding to FOIAs, never being transparent with court data, even when you get the court's blessing to get the data, which I will get to in a moment about our issues with the office. But of course, Iris Martinez in office, I believe she took office in early December, if I'm not mistaken. So we're 5 months in, and she's already flip-flopping. She just supported Senate Bill 583. And basically this Senate bill is going to limit designate the clerk as not having to, clerk's offices around the state, as to not have to be responsive to the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, which is by far the most transparent of all levels of transparency under the law in Illinois. Instead, this bill mandates that the clerk's offices are responsive to what's called the Local Records Act, which is pretty much a joke. It does not, there's no right for people who are requesting records to appeal. Requesters like the Chicago Justice Project, others, are just completely denied all levels of records. This is not an accident. This is just a flip-flop. Iris Martinez, typical Cook County, Illinois, Chicago politician. Say one thing when you're running, do another when you're in office. To some degree, we have that for mayor. We've had that for mayor forever, and most of the aldermen and most of the Cook County board. Some degree, the Cook County board president, certainly a large degrees to what's in office or has been in office at the Illinois General Assembly. By no means all of them, but many of them. She joins a long list of people. Now, how it affects CJP. This is a copy of a letter from Cook County Circuit Court Chief Judge Timothy Evans. And if you look closely at that date, ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that is 2015, November. That letter to us and to the clerk's office is basically a signed agreement with Cook County Circuit Court Chief Judge Timothy Evans and the Chicago Justice Project for CJP to get access to at that point it was believed to be 35 years of case level data from the Cook County Criminal Court. It would be data on every case filed through November of 2015, and then it also mandated regular updates. It by far would have been the largest, and still would be, the largest transparency victory in the criminal justice sphere in America. Cook County is rumored to be either the second or third largest unified court system in the country. The criminal court's extremely busy. Obviously, we have issues with violence and crime in Chicago. This would have been a massive coup. That letter gets to the clerk's office, Dorothy Brown's office. She wants to charge us $25,000 to access the data, to de-identify it, take out a couple fields. Yes, it's corrupt. Yes, it's basically good old Cook County corruption. More or less a legitimate form of payoff, because that's how they operate here. Now, her, Iris Martinez's chief of staff, during the campaign, agreed. We sent them this information. We talked to Patrick Hanlon. He agreed that they would honor this request and most likely not charge us anything. And what happened? Well, it's been radio silence since they got elected. I don't know if that's going to stay that way, but we're very concerned that we're going to get the same thing from Iris Martinez that we got from Dorothy Brown, which is cover up, deny. I'm not sure if it's a power thing or what it is. I'm not sure why she doesn't want her office to be covered by FOIA, but it's not a good sign. It's unfortunate, but I don't think we probably should have expected much less. We'll keep you updated on our fight with the clerk's office. We're going to go. It's going to be a much more public battle than it's been over the last few years, for sure.